rivet nuts. Got one right here. Got a project I need to do something with, and I have a rivet nut gun. It's pneumatic. Was provided to me by, I think the company's called Wanvan, to test and demonstrate, and I have the perfect project for it. But first, let me explain a little bit how this works. I'll get you in close. Coming up. I'm Roger, welcome to the shop. I'm going to be demonstrating how to use a nut rivet gun. And if you're not familiar with nut rivets, this here is a cart that my wife picked up at some discount sale thing somewhere. It was real cheap. Well, I found out why. It comes with casters. That's cool. Casters have brakes. And you screw the casters into the bottom. And they already had rivet nuts in here, and here, and here, but kind of didn't put one up there. So when I had the opportunity to demonstrate this, I was requested if I'd like to demonstrate it. I thought I got the perfect application for that. So now I'm going to show you exactly how a rivet nut gun works. I've used one before, but not a pneumatic one. I've always had the one where you got to do the pump up thing. So get you in close here, I'll show you how this works. Okay, so what comprises a rivet nut gun? You've got a forward and reverse. This is actually kind of a speed control, and I'll kind of demonstrate that here according to how fast you want this to run. And note these are loud, so I will probably crank down the volume on this a little bit after I pull the trigger. This is full speed. You can turn this down. Actually, you can turn it off. That's the speed control on it. Now, okay, how does a rivet gun nut work? Well, you buy these rivet nuts. This is what one of them looks like here. It's threaded on the inside according to what size you're using here. This one happens to be a 3/8 16. And one end has a flange and there's little serrations on there. You would put the proper mandrel in the gun, and I'll demonstrate all this here in a minute. And you would screw your rivet nut on there with the flange towards the serrated base. You would then put that into the appropriately drilled hole, and you pull the trigger forward, and as this rotates, it more or less squishes this and actually rivet in there. So then when you're got it set, you would pull the reverse trigger here and you'd back it out. So there's different size mandrels, and this kit here comes with 10/24, 1/4 5/16, 18, and 3/8 16. So to change the mandrel, you pull back on this little lever right here, the little sleeve, and this comes out, and there'll be a little hex piece inside that should come out with it. There it is. This comes with several different extra bolts. We'll take this clear apart. See, there's a washer in there. There's actually roller bearings inside the mandrel head. I don't know if that'll show up on camera or not. So you leave your washer in there. You put your bolt through. This little hex piece, according to which size you're using, would fit in there. And then you would put it into the gun. And in my particular case, I'm going to be using a 5/16 18. So here I have the adapter part. There is my bolt. Of course, my washer is down in there somewhere. I know it's in there. There it is. There's the washer and bearing. Put that in there. Set this in. Pull back on the sleeve right here. Insert the mandrel. So the little hex folds into place in there. Once it's down in there all the way, you release the sleeve. It snaps back up, and that's locked in there. So as I said, I'm using the 5/16. I'll put a 5/16 nut on here. Get my piece up close here. Get some air put to this thing. And it's a matter of placing this into the hole and pulling the forward trigger. And it'll latch when it's done. It'll just stall. So we're set. I press the reverse trigger, reverse it. There's my rivet nut all set. And I can screw in my caster as my air compressor starts in the background. We need more noise. Of course, I have to get a wrench to finish tightening that up, but that's all there is to it. A little something you don't understand is everything on this cart is metric except these casters. The thread on these is 5/16 18. I had assumed they were going to be 6mm. And the hex on this, of course, is 9/16 on these casters. And I wish I had a thinner wrench there. Well, I'm going to have to find a tappet wrench to tighten that up the rest of the way. So that's how you use a rivet nut gun. And as I said at the beginning, this was provided to me to test. It works perfect. And I've got a couple other projects that's coming up down the line when the weather warms up. And repairing some of our nursery carts. I'll be able to use this. The sizes, as I said, comes 10/24 through 3/8. This is also available in metric. With metric mandrels, you don't have to do SAE if you are working with metric. And I may get myself a set of metric mandrels because these are quite handy. The rivet nuts you can get hardware store, home center, well maybe. Or do like I did and just get one of these big assortment kits from Amazon. They're not expensive and it gives you a lot of different ones to use. So there'll be a link in the description on where to get this rivet nut gun, and I'll put a link in where to get those rivet nuts. So if you got anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up, always helps the channel. Roger in the shop. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next one.